Very good morning to our viewers all across the world. Welcome to your poetic interlude on the Weekend Show. My name is Emeka Ozurumba. Now, what is literature and what are the central themes of literature? For years now, literature has diversified from being an aesthetic purpose into asserting into humanity the forms and transcendence of what life truly means. We have had different genres of literature like poetry, prose, and drama, but people have used literature since time immemorial to pass across environmental messages that goes across all global phenomenons. And today on the program with me, I have a UK-based writer from Cumbria in England with me, Mr. Alan Hubbard. Good morning, Mr. Alan. Can you hear me? Good morning. Okay, Mr. Hubbard we're having some little glitches, but Mr. Hubbard is live with us in the UK, and his book is titled, I Am Hubbard, Who Are You? The book talks about environmental degradations. For instance, in 1992, we had a cargo ships of about 28,200 plastic bags that were thrown in the sea on the way from China to America. That has caused numerous environmental degradations because those plastic bags have been found in North Antarctic, they've been found in different aspects in the Atlantic. They've found their ways into different parts of the oceans all across the world. And this is one of the central themes of Mr. Hubbard's book. There's also a law that has been passed in the UK, and that law states that individuals are going to be able to fish farm without government protection. And this was passed in the UK, and that definitely meant that government would not regulate how those people can do with their waste products and their waste values. So this just obviously meant that the seas are at loom. And the law was passed because it favored individuals and it favored technocrats and it favored the owners of industries than the mere people. Because these pollutions for years are actually what is also culminating into what is known as global warming. I don't know if Mr. Allen, can you hear me?
I think I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Mr. Allen, good morning. It's nice to see you.
And you. Yeah.
Okay, so can you tell us about your book, I Am Alan Hubbard, Who Are You?
Well, it started off as a sort of autobiography, really. But I started writing in 2014, and as you know, really, the world situation just got dramatically worse over a few years. And as I continued to write the book, my focus changed, and it changed from my life to the planet, really. So I ended up writing an entire chapter on politics, which took in environmental things, the wars, pandemics, everything. Yeah.
Yes. So what does literature mean to you? Because I was talking to you and you were telling me about the fact that socialists don't like literature to be perverted using literature. And of course, literature is a voice of its own because we speak out what's happening in society. We have to speak these things out. People, if we don't talk about them, they can't know about them. So how do you purport that in your book? Because some people are against writers being socialist and being politically inclined. So what do you think about that inclination?
Well, I've no time for anybody that's got any restrictions on literature whatsoever. And as you know, I mean, some people do have. I mean, I've been kicked out of the Cumbrian Authors group because they didn't like politics.
Yes.
Well, politics are an integral part of life, and you can't live in a vacuum. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so what are some of the? Because I saw the Tory party, the Labour Party was kicked out, and the Tory party came in. Just to say, one of the best prime ministers of the UK, which I love and I think is very inspirational, was Tony Blair. And Tony Blair was a Tory. But it seems the Tory can put the X right together. But talking about the Labour Party and now talking about the bill that was passed in terms of allowing individuals fish farm. You know, fish farm has no panacea because the fish feed remains in the ocean and it dilutes and it actually makes it an Atlantic thing, and it goes to all across the rivers in the world, and all the oceans in the world are connected. So what can you say about the bill that was passed in the House of Commons?
Well,
on March the 3rd.
The bill that's been passed has been lauded by environmentalists all over, but I've got to say that every environmental treaty in the past has failed to reach its targets. Every single one of them. There isn't a single environmental treaty that's been drawn up which has reached its targets. And they are lauding this one as a wonderful achievement. Well, history will tell us whether that's a good achievement or not. But there is no restrictions on in the fish farms, which are prevalent all over the world. I mean, they've been lauding China as being a leader in environmental matters because it's actually said that it will be producing all its own fish within a few years, and they won't be taking any fish from the ocean. Well, in order to do this, they've got massive, massive fish farms. And in order to feed those fish farms, they already launched a ship in 2021, which is 125 meters long. It's 21 meters wide. I don't know how tall it is, but its sole purpose is to hoover up krill from the Antarctic. And that krill is then ground up into food for fish farms. Fish farms are intensive farming, but they're intensive farming in the sea, not on land. And everything that is bad from a fish farm goes into the open ocean. And oceans, they haven't got barriers. They're not like the land. They've no barriers whatsoever. The currents, the tides, and the wind, everything takes everything from all over the oceans. There's a North Atlantic current, there's a South Atlantic current, a North Pacific current, a South Pacific current, there's the Gulf Stream, there's El Nino. They go all over the world. There's no restriction on what comes out of those fish farms. So to say that this treaty will protect the high seas is nonsense, absolute nonsense.
Okay, Mr. Alan, I'm pressed for time. I'm going to have to bring you back on the show. But can you tell Nigerians where they could get your book?
Well, I have a website. The website is Alan Hubbard, author.co.uk. Alan Hubbard, author.co.uk. That will tell them how they can get the book. Okay,
that's so nice, Mr. Alan. Thank you for coming on the program. I really appreciate your voice.
Okay, that's my pleasure. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Alan. Okay. I've just been speaking to Mr. Alan Hubbard, who wrote the book, I Am Alan Hubbard, Who Are You? Please go out there and grab your copies. His website is alanhubbard.co.uk. You can go and check the book out. It talks about environmental degradation and how we can actually affect our planet positively. My lovely audience all across the world, I hope you've enjoyed watching your Poetic Interlude on the Weekend Show. My name is Emeka Ozurumba. I want to shout out to my lovely producer, Andy Madiki, all my lovely friends here on the Weekend Show, Emmanuel Balogun, Didi, Abraham, even Ayo Adams, Jeff T, and I should be, all my friends here on the lovely show. We've just had a very swell time.